WWE Bash in Berlin 2024 results, y'all. This was a banger of a show from top to bottom. Obviously, CM Punk going over Drew McIntyre in their strap match, but it was the main event that everyone is talking about, in my opinion. But there was also a big mistake, a big error, a big miss that WWE made on this show. And in this video, we're going to be discussing it because Gunther, Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight title opened and closed the show in a major way. The reason I said that they opened is because they opened up the reign of Gunther as World Heavyweight Champion, and they did it with one of the best to ever do it in Randy Orton. Also, you had Cody Rhodes putting the undisputed WWE Championship on the line against Kevin Owens in the true opener of this card, and that is where we get things started. So the storyline coming into this one, of course, was Cody Rhodes giving Kevin Owens the opportunity, even though Owens didn't want it. In fact, he turned it down, but it was Nick Aldis, SmackDown GM. He was the one that made it happen after Cody Rhodes went to bat for Kevin Owens, and they did this friendship storyline leading up to it. And it was very heartfelt, right? You felt for Kevin Owens. You wanted Kevin Owens to win it, even though you knew he never had a shot. Now, Rhodes, he went over with the crossroads after putting up the knees when Owens went for a front senton off the middle rope. And you thought there for a minute, could he be turning on Cody Rhodes? Could he be turning heel in this moment? And that wasn't the case. They shook hands, they celebrated in the ring, and they went on with their merry way. I expect Bad Blood October 5th. We're probably going to get a Kevin Owens heel turn, and I expect that rematch to happen, although they did play up the fact of Solo Sikoa coming after Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens watching his back. We'll see how that actually plays out. Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn put the titles on the line against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. This was, their third match? I think it was definitely a second rematch. It was a rematch for the titles, but obviously Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, they beat them a few months ago. And this was a fine match. And Jade Cargill continues to get better. She continues to work better as a babyface, in my opinion. And her evolution and her learning has really come a long way. It was Jade Cargill and Belair. They hit a double team move to win the title. So basically, Belair kicked, I believe it was Alba Fire, into Jade, and then Jade hit a German suplex, and then that's how they did the pinfall. So pretty clever. But yeah, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, they are two-time women's tag team champions. The reason I say this was a huge mistake, and this is where the huge mistake kicks in, I had talked about going into this match, okay, we've seen Jade and Bianca Belair be champions before. They had a good reign. But they're true single stars, right? We understood why they did this pairing. But this was the perfect opportunity where you have Belair, she takes the pinfall, Jade gets mad and turns on Bianca for costing them the titles. And then you go off and do a feud between Jade and Belair, which we're going into, but instead we're going to do a rehash of this tag team title run and as tag team champions and then eventually get to it. I just thought that was a major miss on their part, and they really need to really clean that stuff up. Strap match, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, the Bad Blood match. This was good. I thought that with the strap match, you are somewhat limited. They did not necessarily turn it into a hardcore match. It was a brawl. It was an old school, down and dirty pro wrestling match. That's what they did. Punk at one point, I believe he was bleeding from his temple. Either way, he got busted open and was a bloody mess. They worked hard. CM Punk actually wore ring gear from 2023's All In, which was his last match internationally, because that was obviously at All In at Wembley Stadium. Of course, he got into the incident with Jack Perry, but it was good. It was good. I would say it was better than their SummerSlam match. They didn't play into the whole bracelet thing, although at the end, Punk did get his bracelet back. Now, I did have a problem with the finish of this match. The reason I did is because Punk hit 4 back-to-back GTSs, getting the bracelet and then tagging all 4 corners. To me, that was overkill. To me, what are we doing? It reminded me of like a spam finish on like WWE 2K or something. Like, I don't like seeing that in my pro wrestling matches. And I think a lot of you will agree with that. But they went with it. For whatever reason, they went with it. I would expect we're going to get the trilogy at Bad Blood October 5th, Hot Atlanta. Hell in a Cell sounds about right for this feud. And I look forward to seeing it because it's been a really, really fun feud to follow along. WWE Bash in Berlin, co-main event. Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, they are going up against Women's World Champion Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio in a mixed tag team match. Another really, really fun match. All four people worked really, really hard. There was outside interference from Judgment Day. You had Carlito and JD Madonna and Finn Balor. And really, it looked like, okay, the numbers game is going to be too much for these two baby faces, and, the baby faces are going to get screwed. And luckily, that was not the case. Luckily, WWE didn't go that route. They gave Rhea, they gave Damian the well-deserved win, right? Like I talked about this going into the show, where you needed Rhea to get this win. And the reason that you needed it is because she needed to get some momentum to get to that rematch, singles rematch for the Women's World title with Liv. I would assume at Bad Blood. You also needed Damian Priest to get a win coming off of SummerSlam, where he dropped the title to Gunther. And the finish was Rhea hitting the Riptide on Liv for the 1, 2, 3. Main event time, as you guessed it, as I said before, Gunther put the World Heavyweight title on the line against Randy Orton. This was a clinic. This was a wrestling banger. The people are saying it's an all-time classic. People are saying it's match of the year. Their match at King of the Ring, I actually liked better. I'm in the minority, I understand. I thought this match they could have shaved off a few minutes. I thought it went a little long, but hey, that's just me. They had a really good match. It was the match of the night. No doubt about that. Gunther continues to prove that he deserves in his spot. Randy Orton continues to prove that he is still a top guy, a legend, if you will. He can still go with the best of the best, despite his age, despite his back injury, everything like that. And I really, really look forward to seeing what's next for Gunther. I look forward to seeing what's next for Randy Orton. This could easily be looked back on as the moment that Gunther really came into his own as a top guy. Like, I understand he had a long reign as IC champion, but NXT UK, top guy. NXT, top guy. Main roster, top guy. Gunther, he has top guy written all over him, and WWE will continue to utilize him in that role, and I look forward to seeing what they do going forward. Let me know down in the comments area below, what do you think about this show?